The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome back to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast, your home for news, discussions, and honest takes from every corner of the Doctor Who universe, from Big Finish to New Who, to classic series to books. We are here and we have your sonic screwdrivers back. I am Brett, your host for today's episode, and we've got some fascinating and maybe slightly controversial topics lined up. First, we're going to be diving into the growing presence of AI-generated art in Doctor Who fan clubs, online communities, and how it's being received by fans. Is it a creative boost or cutting corners? Then we'll head over to Reddit, where there's a thread that has caught fire with the bold question, what's the worst addition to Doctor Who lore? I love that I used AI to actually write that, and it says, from metachlorian level mistakes. All right. And then also, don't forget to stay tuned for our next episode, podcast 379 and 380. For myself and Liam, we'll be back together again discussing and reviewing Season 2 of the RTD Part 2 era, covering all the big moments, the highs, the lows, and what's next for the store. So, without further ado, let's get into this episode. All right. Well, I can't believe AI doing that for me, throwing me under the bus before I even had a chance to even get through the introduction. So yeah, that was nice. Anyway, that being said, thanks for listening to Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Please email the show, tweet the show, wherever you are listening to it. You can reply on not Facebook. I do have a Facebook account that I've kind of meant to have as a go-to. That is the Freddie DWAP Sanchez Facebook account. It looks like Rick from Rick and Morty wearing a Shazam shirt. I know. I will tell you, one of these days I'm going to reveal the main reason for that account. I probably, maybe in the near future, will delete the account only to try to do something else because, yes, nefariosity is underway. Anyway, so email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get to the first topic at hand, and that is the growing presence of AI-generated art. Now, I think that this is quite interesting because I am a part of many Doctor Who groups, and one of them is entitled, what is it? It's the old school. I had it just a second ago. Old school Doctor Who fans, and they have a thread that just popped up, and it's or whatever, and it says, a quick reminder to everybody to vote on our poll whether this forum should ban postings of AI imagery. The link to the post is blah 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 comment, whatever. Let's see, the link to the post is in the comments section below. Do not just reply yes or no to this thread. Voting is open until the 3rd of July, and we will abide by the majority of the decision. So I think it's quite interesting, this poll, because there is yes or no. And again, just for help, I don't read word for word for the Chat GPT introduction. I mean, if you've listened and follow along to the podcast way, way long ago, when Humphrey was the voice of the fans, we've used this. Liam was the voice of reason. So, I mean, there's that. I think Legion was the comic relief, which, and I don't even know am I the well-balanced person? Who knows? I can't remember what I was slotted for, but it kept on, coming up like that. And so, that's just, an introduction that I used just to, help me say something new instead of the same old thing from time to time. But the interesting thing about the AI art is if you're a part of any group, science fiction group or whatever, I and obviously there's AI art all over the place. I think it's quite interesting to look at and dissect and discuss because it's one of those features that I think is here to stay. As a school teacher, um, I'm going to take some classes over this summer to learn how to appropriately use AI to help, just foster ideas similar to this. I refuse to use anything except for my own brain to score and record grades for students because that not cool. And then what I can do to help foster students' ability to use AI to help them creatively think. Again, all the things that it is should be used for is to creatively think, to expand on something, not to give you basically a flat, here's my response right here. Thank you, whatever. And, I still think it's not perfect. Again, a metachlorian level mistake to use a Star Wars reference in a Doctor Who, and I did give it some prompts. This is what I'd like it to do. This is where I'd like you to go. But just kind of help me with the wording so that I don't just sit and record the introduction and not like it and not like it. And it just kind of gave me, you know, some stuff. I skipped over massive amount of sentences also, by the way. But I think it's quite interesting. So this Facebook group, they said, some people are like, yeah, don't worry, we'll abide by the decisions. Well, yeah, because you'll probably be ousted if you don't. But there is yes, you should, get rid of AI art. No, keep it, which I find weird. It should be yes, keep it. No, drop it. It's I don't know. It's weird. One person in this group says no. The old school Doctor Who is focused on the content's reflections on the actual show. An AI image or whatever content it comes out of should be allowed. It is just allowing a new look at the best Doctor Who show. Anyone that is doing them to show off the original or the whatever is doing it because they love it. Okay. And so I'm going to go to the actual thread because that was just a reminder to vote. I will tell you, I put no, I'm happy for all AI content to be posted and currently constituted the no's are losing. And I think it's quite interesting. Uh, yeah, because it's no, I'm happy for AI content to be posted. Yes, I think AI content should be disallowed. It should be, yes, I think AI content should be allowed. No, I don't think it's anyway. Semantics or whatnot. But just to go over some people's thoughts, it says AI is the only realistic way the lost episodes will be recreated. Already, a lot of interesting work has been done, far superior to most of the official animation releases, and the quality of this will only get better as technology advances. It is here to stay, so we might as well embrace it. And I think that that is such a good and positive point of view is to basically embrace this. It's not going to go away. Similarly to my students and, some of the classes I'm taking, it's not going to go away, but we can use it for force of good because obviously things will be, used to be a force of evil. Let's see. What is this person has a response? To be honest, I do think that it's the only way to get them to. For that reason alone, I can't deny it totally. So again, to have more accurate reconstructions of the missing or lost episodes, I think is one of the polarizing ways as to allow the use of AI images. Um, let's see. Somebody who says, as someone who generated a lot of fascinating sci-fi, I would counsel you to be careful with what you wish for. Okay. And then, perhaps you could expand on that. They did not, I don't believe. Let's see, it says, okay, never that they did. AI is like any tool. It can be used well or it can be used badly to generate complete slop. But also, I can make great images of things that never occurred in the original series, including behind the scene posts. So the question becomes of one of integrity, which is quite interesting because, yeah, you could make things that, have Patrick Troughton be in a place, do certain things that never actually occurred ever in the history of the show. So they do bring up a good point where it basically you have your own behind the scenes special effects or whatnot, which did not, occur. A lot of people really want this to be a thing and to be allowed because if for example, somebody says, if whole lost episodes become recreated with AI, the result in high quality reproductions, generally to faithful old school Doctor Who, then posting links like thumbnails and discussing them here could fit within the context of the old school Who. It's probably something most of the members would be interested in. Yes. So you know, I think the majority is it should be used. Now, on uh, the other side of everything with, I've been following some YouTube channels and whatnot that from comic book artists, and the struggle with using AI is that, you know, in doing so, could put some people out of a job. Now, it can create some additional jobs of how to code and how to recreate the images that you're looking for, that you're desired for. But the same exact time, you'd be putting actual artists out of a job. Now, if it is the artist that did the Web of Fear Part 3, good. I'm glad that you're out of a job because that was sloppy and it was horrible. And I want no part of any animation, again, living or dead, that ever looks like that whatsoever. So, um, and I think that's where a lot of uh, people get a little bit scared about because of the whole losing one's job because of AI. I mean, when you just think about all of not America, all of the world's improvements, you went from lots of manual power to machine power to then you went to computer power. Every single wave, you've lost people's jobs. AI, you're going to lose people's jobs, but you're also going to probably find a different way to allow them to have a job. So I think it's going to be quite interesting. I think this is further from black and white. I think there's a lot of area of gray within the AI, you know, not community, but the usage of it. All right. What are your thoughts? You can email the show, leave a comment on that, and we'll get back to you. Now, the Reddit, this is something that Liam sent me. It is entitled, "What do you think is the worst new bit of Doctor Who lore?" Now, I've not read this. I thought it'd be fun, just kind of do it, in the dark and then respond. My personal, and I've said it for many times, many podcasts, is The Timeless Child, the giving the doctor a different origin story of, you know, William Hartnell not be un-William Hartnelling possibly, and that did happen. You could also say the whatever occurred with the flux, the universe is still broken. That's not been fixed. History is still broken with the Centaurans in, replacing the Russians in the 1800s. You also have the bi-regeneration, which I think is awful. And so I think at least I have 4 things that I did not like as the worst new bits for Doctor Who lore. So let's just see what happened. So we have first post, I might have this wrong, but isn't half the universe just now gone thanks to the flux? Oh, thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming up with mine. It says, yeah, it's left rather vague, but Wild Blue Yonder and the Giggle both established that yes, this was pretty much the case. So, yeah. And then it says, and is that half of the 75% left after Legopolis? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Never thought about that one. So, yeah, approximately 37.5% of the universe is all that is left after those two events. All right. And yeah, according to the Flux, yes. Also, in the Flux's final scene, no, and loads of stars are back. One gets the sense the Flux was undone, but they just never explained why. Interesting. According to the Wild Blue Yonder, Flux destroyed half the universe. I assume RTD looked at this gapping narrative issue and just decided to meet in the middle of 100% of the universe being gone. Well, if the 0% of if 100% of the universe is gone, then I guess, there's no show. And anyway, yeah. So I find the flux thing very confusing. I find what happens with the Centaurans in the 1800s confusing, but yeah. Another gentleman pipes in and says, "Destroying Gallifrey again. The Timeless Child bothered me at first, but I got over it. Really good. Glad that you're able to get over it because I think it's horrible. But the Gallifreyan thing annoys me like the showrunners just hating to deal with Gallifrey because Gallifrey is one of the most interesting parts of the show, and it feels like a waste to just keep getting rid of. And you know, and I've said this to Liam on many occasions. I will have said this to him on episode 379, where I do believe that it was important for RTD to not have Gallifrey when he rebooted the show. I think one of the things that you need to be when you reboot a show of the magnitude of Doctor Who, 26 years plus novels plus audios and whatnot, and not to mention comics, but you also have, or books too, but you also have the fandom that is high into the lore, and then you have the people who are just, you know, on level one of their introductory level of fandom or show enjoying. And for you to vomit so much information into them, especially in the first show, I think that it would be a lot and could turn people off from the show. But and so it was important that Christopher Eccleston's Ninth Doctor says, I'm a Time Lord, I'm the last of the Time Lords. And, to leave it at that so that you introduce the concept of what his race is, who he is, and that he's the last of them. And then you can establish the Time War, which they did, which brought us up to the 60th anniversary, which was great. But I find that the struggle, and I'm curious if this is a TV thing or not, but it seems almost like every 5-ish years, they need to kind of reboot the lore because the fandom that they initially got in 2005 some of them may have left and they have some new entry level fans. And it's quite interesting to think about what do you do with these new entry level fans? Do you expect them to go back and watch, uh, you know, from 2005? And I'm saying this from, series 5 of the show from Stephen Moffat for the 11th Doctor, because they kind of almost had to, Stephen Moffat was, recorded it as saying that this is either season 1 or season, I think he said, what, 30 of the show? Uh, Season 5 is wrong. So it's quite interesting to think about that perspective right there, where he was like, nope, it's not series 5. I mean, it is whatever. Words speak a good one day, Brett will. But it's kinda interesting to think that even he, way back in 2010, 11, was like, I I can't classify this as series 5 because I think some people have already moved on. So you neither needed to be on the Doctor Who bandwagon the entire time, or you've just barely got on. And I think from Stephen Moffat's run, I think and feel as though he did it again around the time that he had Bill near the very end of series 10. And then, of course, you had Chris Chibnall do that in series 11. And then it seems like RTD kind of redid it again, but also in RTD Part 2, he wanted to do it again, but he also wanted to use all of the information that he had at his disposal from 40 something years worth of Doctor Who lore. And I don't think you can have it both ways, in my opinion. And so, to get back to the original thing, destroying Gallifrey makes sense to keep on doing it again and again. I think is sloppy writing with somebody or, Chris Chibnall have having not the ability to, um, fully fully work out how to do it, so it's just easier to destroy it and kill everybody. And, again, that is just my opinion. And then it says, "This goes back a bit. I dislike how regeneration energy has expanded over time to be a Leatherman multicolor" what? Sorry, multi-tool it is now. It can be a weapon, it can shift reality, it can slice dices, Julians. Yeah, that is a very interesting perspective on the entirety of regeneration energy. And now the Doctor from the 15th Doctor can use it to heal when he wants. Killing off the Time Lords off screen is definitely one. I just killed decades of story potential in one swoop for no reason. All right. And then the master is still around, just trapped in a tooth. Is that what happened? Is that the Toymaker's tooth? Did I miss something with that? Huh. I Interesting. Uh, did did I miss something with the Toymaker's tooth? Is the master stuck in there? Huh. Interesting. The Timeless Child was bad, but Gallifrey being destroyed again thanks to the Master having a meltdown is even worse. All the potential for new Time Lord characters not returning and a new story set on Gallifrey gone, just like that. Now that would be a season of amazement to have the entire series instead of being on Earth. You can use similar Earth tactics to, you know, message out certain things, but to be able to have the Time Lords having problems. Because again, the classic series of Time Lords are a bore. Then you have the Timothy Dalton Rassilon, where some of them have become cruel and evil. And then, of course, you have the 12th Doctor Gallifrey controversy, or not controversy, but, battling each other. I think that's quite interesting too. That would be so cool to have an entire series, or at least the majority of the series, to be set on Gallifrey. Yes. Yes. Let's see. Another one says, I think I agree with the revelation that all the remaining Time Lords are now sterile. Really? But I'm willing to bet it's for a different reason. First, how would the Doctor and the Ronnie have actually known that they were sterile? The implication is at some point they checked. But like, when would they have done that? And why what would prompt them to do that? Also, Time Lords having already been implied to be sterile, many Lord children were birthed from looms, which were invented by Rassilon. It's how the Doctor said it had to have been born, and it fits with the Timeless Child. Let's see. All right. I think that's quite interesting. I like the whole did they check? Did the Ronnie and the Doctor really have a fling and just like, ah, no baby? Bah. Somebody else just said hands down by regeneration. And this was met with lots of positive feedback. By generation was handled badly, but it could have been explained later, and it was a result of the Doctor introducing a myth and superstition into the. No, no, no. I mean, if you want to say that, bioregeneration is the fault of basically Mavity. And yeah, let's see. We got Timeless Child, no contest. Bioregeneration is bad. The destruction of Gallifrey, Timeless Child. I'm half human on my mother's side. Timeless Child is worse, of course, but half human is second. Yeah, I mean, we do have the TV movie to go with. Honestly, 15 telling Kate he doesn't have any children. Rewriting lore is meh. Happens all the time. What I think is unforgivable is the overriding the emotional core of the writer's stories. There are several episodes where the fact that the Doctor is a father is a core element of what makes the episode work. Now, RTD has retconned that because he doesn't want the Doctor having children? Question mark. He wants to make Susan the Doctor's granddaughter from the future. I don't get it. Very interesting, especially since Susan did show up in, you know, the Interstellar Song Contest. Especially when they got the actress who played the granddaughter 60 years ago. I like that this person has no idea who Susan is, but just is doing a basic synopsis of where they came from. I completely agree. Didn't like it either. I love time traveling stories. I adored the Doctor Who, but not everything has to involve complicated timey-wimey shenanigans. I prefer the idea, like anyone else, that the Doctor has had a family in their personal present/past, and those relationships and experiences help them form the greater person they are. Perfectly put. We don't need to mess with that by having the Doctor go, well, actually, I have descendants, but not yet. In my future, and I know that already because of timey-wimey reasons. Interesting. Very well put, mostly. I think it got kind of, yeah. All right, a lot of people, timeless child, timeless child, timeless child. Let's see, if I do Control F, what would happen if I put timeless child? How many? At least on this page, and I can click to, extend the page further. There are 47. If I click to extend page further, okay, now there is, well, not that many more. 57. Okay, what if I do by regenerate? By, let's see. Oh, nobody hyphens it. By hyphen. It looks like only 7 mention by regeneration. Interesting. All right. Well, what do you, dear listener, think of the both of these things? Should AI art be included in fan discussion and whatever boards? Do you think that what do you feel as though is the worst bit of new Doctor Who lore that has been added to the show? What do you think? Is there anything from the past that you think is deserving? I don't know. Please email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. If you are following along on the YouTube page, you can leave a comment and we will get that. Until next time, we do appreciate all that you do. Please continue listening, subscribing, liking, ring the bell for notification if you're doing so. And until next time, we will see you in time.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.